So I too want to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day this morning. And I don't just mean biological mothers, although I wish you a happy Mother's Day too, but stepmothers and godmothers and spiritual mothers. Reverend Terry's been my spiritual mom for over a decade now. So I want to wish you all a happy Mother's Day. And I'll even say happy Mother's Day to anyone else who doesn't fall in that category, who has enjoyed the presence of a wonderful mother in your life too. Whatever kind of mother I just listed to an extent. I also tell you that this is a great time to celebrate that. It's a good day to celebrate all the way around.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I do have a confession to make. I know, the suspense draws. For a long time, Mother's Day was not a good holiday for me. I did not like it at all. It's not because, I know some of you have this, you grew up at the hands of an abusive or neglectful mother, and I get that whole different thing. I had an awesome mom, and she was one of my best friends ever. Twice, I'm going to do this. No, Christine told me, if I drink water, I won't cry. Hold on. When I was 20, my mother passed away. And so the next decade of my life, all my peers that were my age had their mother, and Mother's Day, and I know somebody preaching is probably not supposed to say this, but Mother's Day pissed me off for a long time. I didn't like it at all. And so I'm happy to say that I've gone through that place in my life, and now I can look back, and it's a celebration, because I did have a wonderful mother, and 20 years isn't a long time, but they were a lot better of 20 years than I know a lot of other people had with their moms. So I feel very lucky and very blessed. Now, having said that, I also get to celebrate it from the other end of the spectrum, where now I'm a mom too. And I gotta tell you, that's cool. I so enjoy celebrating Mother's Day as a mother and one raising kids. It's a whole new fun. We're giving the boys bedtime because I think they forgot that this was Mother's Day weekend. And so I don't think we're going to get anything, which is quite all right with me. But they just keep telling us it's a surprise because they're still thinking it now. But I'm going to talk a little bit about my relationship with Caleb and Clay, because I figure if Pastor let me preach on Mother's Day, I'm going to take advantage of it a little bit. I love having, and you know what, I get to say this too. My spiritual daughter is also here, so I'm a mother in that aspect as well. Love you, Kristen. But I'm going to talk about Caleb and Clay. I know kids go through stages, all different kinds of stages, and if you have a kid, and mine are not adults yet, but even if you have an adolescent and have raised it since a baby, you know there's all kinds of stages in parenthood, right? Nothing like, the adolescents are nothing like the infants were. I mean, well, they're both kind of needy, but totally different stages. And I know a lot of people, oh, I just love this stage. Oh, I just love this stage. My favorite by far is where they are right now. Because I was always kind of the youth pastor type. I love teens. I just love them. I think they're so cool. They make me laugh more than any other people ever do. They make me think from a totally different perspective than anybody ever could. And I have such this wonderful relationship with them. One of the amazing things about them right now is their independence. Because when they go to adolescence, independence, it's a whole different level of independence. They start thinking not like me at all. and that's where I'm glad to say that they're not thinking like me, because they do some things and I go, I don't even know where that came from. That was just crazy. But they're developing into their own people, right? They're becoming the people they're going to be when that mold is broken of Christine's and my authority in my household, and I begin to see the people that they're going to be. And it's great. I love it. They make me laugh. They laugh with me. And I could just keep talking about this, but I won't, because it's not really a sermon about Caleb Clay. That's just my illustration. The one thing I want to say is I know they love me. I know that they love me so much that I don't even know if I could measure it. But they tell me they love me, and that's wonderful. But that's not how I know they love me. I don't know they love me because of their words. I know they love me because of their deeds. And there's a big gap in between. If they just said they loved me, and then they just totally disregarded what was important to me, it would be really hard to believe that they loved me. As much as so much of what they say lets me know that they love me, the greatest indicator of their love is not their words, it is their deeds. The greatest sign of their love is that they care enough to follow Christine's and my direction. That's what tells me they love me. To sacrifice their own will for my will when it's necessary. Now, note, I don't want to take away their independence, but I, as their parent, sometimes have a better idea of what they need than what they think they need. They trust me enough to obey my commands when it's necessary that I command them. And that's how I know. And this is, I think, what Jesus was talking about when he spoke these words that we read in John. He knew that he would soon be betrayed by his friend and his follower, Judas. He knew that he would soon be arrested and beaten, and he knew that he would soon be crucified. And yet, rather than spending his words and his time trying to talk Judas out of that, he spent his words and his time trying to talk his disciples and his friends, trying to tell them and prepare them for life without him. Trying to say, I'm not going to be here, but you need to live on, and here's how you need to live on. So I'm assuming that these words probably are going to be kind of important, just in the way they were used. A little important there. So I'm going to pay attention. And so he says, if you love me, you will obey me. The one who does not obey me does not love me. Now, I'm going to confess, as I was writing the sermon, that seemed really harsh to me. Mm-hmm. If you don't obey me, you don't love me. That seems harsh because, we slip up, right? We have moments of disobedience in our life. Or is that just me? Am I just...